I just came in on a red eye from San Francisco. I was at a thing called an Ed Foo at Google. And there were a couple hundred people there, really interesting group of people who are dedicated to the notion that we have to be very innovative in education. It was a delightful thing to do. I love to come to these events because you guys inspire confidence. I think you get it. And it's hard. We adults have done some pretty stupid stuff. You've got to sort out some of them. You're in the educated, productive elite. You're probably going to be fairly comfortably successful. You're going to have to work, but you're going to pull that off. The thing that makes it tougher is that we have evolved to the point where each one of you, as a successful, productive member of society, will have to pull maybe a dozen others with you. And you have to do it in a way that you're not embarrassing them or making them angry. That is a profoundly sophisticated human thing to do. But you've really got to do it because we need everyone to be on one side. And it's tough. One of the things that we adults have done, which makes it more complicated for you, is that right now we've kind of pretended that truth doesn't matter. You know, if you lose allegiance to truth, liberty, freedom, pursuit of happiness, not so much. So, you got to help us come back and get anchored. Now, to make a very real local example, evolution rewarded tribalism. We believe what people around us believe because that meant that you evolved and your genetic information was propagated. Believing some abstract thing about truth didn't work so well. So, in this part of Texas, Lamar Smith was elected to the House of Representatives, and last week he had a series of hearings in which the dominant position was that of a climate denier. I come from a tribe that has a very different view. If you look at the faculty of MIT, there's 1,000 of us. I've been a member of that faculty for 50 years. One famous retired professor is a climate skeptic, but I've never met another faculty member that is a climate denier. We have really interesting, rich discussions about what the data show. You folks have to grow up with an epistemological model, a way to go at truth that lets you sort that out. You have to pick, and you better do something more sophisticated than pick proximity to reinforce your argument. You better learn to dig out the best approximation you can find to truth. And one of the reasons that I love the mix that FIRST represents is that you guys have built a robot. 130 pounds of epistemological purity. Mother Nature applies all of the rules all the time. That machine is all natural. So if you understood nature and expressed that well, your robot works well. You have an anchor for thinking about rational thought. When you make this really challenging transition from knowledge to wisdom and try to develop an epistemological model of what you think you know about politics and religion and macroeconomics and beauty, it gets much more sophisticated, but I'm confident you're going to do that well. So, I love you for focusing on fact-based decisions, being in touch with your feelings, and having some complex notions about what fairness means. And doing all that while being graciously professional. Thank you.